Cue the music. Let's go. I'm your boy Ro, contributor for State of the U and OG member of the Orange Bowl Boys. And welcome to another Canes Bear sponsored edition of X's in Row. First question coming in from @BigSpade on Twitter. Happy belated birthday, my guy. I know it was yesterday. Thanks for coming in strong with the first question. Can the current Canes offensive line execute an outside zone running play? All season, Canes fans have seen the inside zone not work. Is it possible for Miami's offensive line to be more effective with a change in blocking running scheme? While I'm a big fan of running game diversification, I don't necessarily think you should live in one thing predominantly because then the other team starts to have the advantage. Sure, if you can specialize in something and your offensive line has more of an affinity to block one way versus the other, you can favor it, but living in it, I don't necessarily know. But, Big Spin, I want to open your eyes to something. Not all outside zone running plays finish outside, and I got two teams to show the example. The first one, your Miami Hurricanes. They're trying to run outside zone here. You're going to see right here the offensive line, they're shooting out in unison. Pay attention to the Rooster here and where his trajectory is going because he's trying to get outside, but something happens. Play side, this linebacker is impeding his ability to get outside, so he's got keys and cues. And right there, he's trying to cut this back upfield. Unfortunately, he slips, but I think there was a nice angle to get upfield and get some positive yards. The next team, for no reason whatsoever, this is the Oregon Ducks. They're also trying to run outside zone. But right here, they're getting influenced by this defensive end who's playing a 5-tech. So right here, the running back is reading right here, this helmet on the outside shoulder. If that was on the inside, Big Spade, he's going to bounce this all the way outside and try to get there. But this is a great job. And to take note of defensive ends doing their job, influencing the play to get back inside. So right then and there, you're going to see the offensive line go ahead, push that out, just block it where they came from, and now the running back puts his foot inside. So then that's going to give the illusion that it was inside zone versus outside zone. Great question. Thank you. Earlier in the week, there was a headline from the Fort Worth Star-Telegram that stated, Miami offensive coordinator Rhett Lashlee will be a top candidate at SMU if Sonny Dykes winds up heading to Fort Worth. Now, you can see how the perpetual domino might fall after that TCU job opened up because Rhett Lashlee was the offensive coordinator at SMU, had so much of a successful season there that it gave him and parlayed the opportunity to become the offensive coordinator at the Miami Hurricanes. By all admissions, he wants to be a head coach one day. So, the question, coming in from Bald Cane at $72, want to jumpstart the search for the next OC? I think it's too soon to name names. However, I do want some premises to remain. The Miami Hurricanes are threatening to finish the season, they just have to beat Duke this weekend, 5-1. They did that off the backs of the offense. Rhett Lashlee and freshman quarterback Tyler Van Dyke, all of a sudden they developed this matrimony that has netted you great results. So whoever the next offensive coordinator is, I would like to see some of the similar RPO elements remain because Tyler is so efficient pre-snap to getting the ball out, and he has exquisite deep ball touch. The next offensive coordinator cannot be afraid to be aggressive. Obviously, the aggression has paid off for the University of Miami because they're tops in the nation these last couple months in deep plays downfield. And then finally, I think Tyler gives you the ability to read a lot of backside coverages so you can't shy away from some more complex kind of concepts. Obviously, I want to see a little bit more NFL infusion. The up-tempo offense is great. I just don't necessarily think you have to keep your foot on the gas constantly. But there can be a mix with some more infusion of running games, some NFL concepts on the backdrop of this spread up-tempo offense. With Tyler, I think he could be special. This question's coming in from Dan Kane at Fraggle318 on Twitter, down at Fraggle Rock. Man, you are severely dating yourself like I just did if you know that song. But is Lashlee improved or is TBD a better option? Great players make great coaches, or is it a coincidence that the offense keeps improving in spite of TBD and because Lashlee got better? Well, in the last clip, I called it a matrimony. And like so many marriages, there's this early growing pain period. Now, Rhett Lashlee, by his full admission, stated that the early game plans, once Tyler was inserted as a starter, were too conservative at best. So as you saw him remove the shackles, you started to see the efficacy of the offense rise and rise. But there's something else I want to bring to your attention, and I'm going to go to the film shortly to prove it. But did you know, and thanks to Honest Bob at the Club OBB Patreon chat for these numbers, in the month of November, the offensive line ranked 27th in the nation for sacks allowed. You go to August and September, they were giving up 3.2 sacks a game. That was 120th. So as the offensive line has improved, so has everything. Once they learn to protect the quarterback better, and I have my theory on that, and let's go over to the game film, because when they snap this ball, there's 8 seconds on the play clock. Earlier in the season, I felt they were going so fast, and look at what happens when the offensive line has the ability to communicate. Just watch how well they picked this up. They saw a linebacker kind of scoot out, and they adjusted their protection to the left side of the offensive line, and everything was picked up perfectly. This is a perfect pocket, and this shows the matrimony in full swing. Because a double move, great play call, great throw, not conservative whatsoever. So offensive line got better. Handcuffs come off. Tyler Van Dyke. Bingo. This question's coming in from Let's Fish, Mullet Run Fishing, at the Mullet Run. If you're big fishing fans, check these guys out on YouTube. They're great. And boys, I was just in the Intercoastal with my boat not too long ago. A bunch of mullet were jumping. One of them actually jumped in my boat, hit my daughter. She flipped out. It was actually kind of funny. But with the success of the deep passes, our opposing defense is still crowding the box to stop the run. Well, that's a great question, and it varies. Sometimes people are in the box, they drop out, and this is an example where Virginia Tech, and I highlighted this in the student of the game this week, because here you'll see 2 safeties over the top. But watch, they're 10 yards from the scrimmage. They can factor against the run game, and that's what they're going to try to do here per se. They drop down into robber roll, so they're 10 yards at the snap of the scrimmage, and both the safeties, one dropped 5 yards away from the line of scrimmage, the other one stays within 10 yards. But this is the advantage that the University of Miami has with Tyler Van Dyke, because even though he's a freshman, he reads the field on the back end really, really good. Pre-snap, 2 safeties. Post-snap, no safeties over the top. That's cover 0. And this is just a surgical dime. I mean, that is just making a defense pay. So I think teams are still changing it up, varying the looks. You kind of have to against Tyler. If this running game can pick up the next level, this offense is going to be so hard to stop. And this is going to be the last clip of the evening, and it's going to be some random row. But before we get there, special shout out to Caneswear, proud supporter of X's and Row and student of the game. They want to wish everybody, including myself, happy Thanksgiving. They're going to be closed for Thanksgiving, but here's their holiday schedule listed online. But they're open on Caneswear.com 24/7. And yes, they're going to be having a Black Friday sale, plus doorbusters soon. So stay tuned. Caneswear, the everything store for everything Canes. Now over to the random row. I saw these stats earlier, and they just don't look real. Tyler Van Dyke's last 5 games, 357 pass yards, 3 touchdowns, 316 for 4, 389 for 3, 426 for 3, and 325 for 4 touchdowns. Way to go, freshman. Now, somebody asked me to kind of like weigh in on the Mario versus Lane debate, and I'll tell you this right now. Mario, well, he's got that Cuban mother, and that's a La Chancla. There's a power of the sandal. Maybe he has the opportunity to come home and reconnect with his family. That Cuban connection, I would not put it past the Chancla. Winning out. And finally, from the UCF Sports Info on Twitter, UCF football has the second highest rated class from the Big Four per Rivals, the 2022 national teams ranking. Good for you guys. There's no such thing as a Big Four.